I'm going to go over how to change the batteries in the Baja Bandit scooter. The first thing you want to do is take the seat off so you can have access to the batteries. The seat just lifts straight up. Don't try to lift back like this, it's not going to budge. But if you do lift straight up, it comes out very easily. I will set this to the side. Next is our battery pack. Whether you have the upgraded batteries or not, you will get the same battery pack. And this just lifts up. There's a handle right here, or you could use the two side handles. But it just lifts up pretty easily. I'll set this to the side, and then we will work on this battery pack next. So now I've actually got a piece of cardboard here because I'm going to flip this battery pack over, and I do not want to risk scratching it on the floor. But underneath the battery pack is we have some screws. Looks like it's usually 8 in these battery packs, so I got 2 here and then 2 here, and I don't believe there's any on the side. No, so there's 8 screws. They're Phillips head, so I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver. I would prefer a longer screwdriver, but actually you shouldn't need a longer one for these. These are not that recessed. So we're just going to take these 8 screws out. So there's 2 up here, or 4 up top, and then 4 on the bottom. So now I have the 8 screws out. While we're down here, you can see this is where our fuse is, as well as the off-board charging port. And then I'm going to flip this back over. Now you'll notice, even though the 8 screws are out, it actually still won't lift up. You can see the whole top is loose, but it won't lift off. That is because these handles need to come off. So on the side, you have these handles. There's a little piece of plastic that you're going to pop out. And if you look in here, there is 2 more Phillips screws. We're going to take those out with our Phillips screwdriver. Because if you look at the shroud, it goes around this handle when I lift it, and it won't actually come off with these installed. I'm just going to take these 2 screws out. Then I'll do the same thing on the other side, but as you can see, our shroud is actually going to clear it now. So now I have both handles off of the battery pack. I can then lift this up, and then we can see the inside of the battery pack. Now I have the single battery. If you do get the dual upgrade battery, which you can also purchase it afterwards, it is not a separate battery pack, it's just another battery you can stake in. You can install it after your purchase. If you do have it, the wiring will look a little different. I'm going to put a little diagram up of what it would look like if you have the dual battery pack up in as an overlay here. But if you have the second battery pack, I'm going to try to explain it. You have your positive and negative coming out of your battery here. If you have a second, and it's going right in here, if you have the second battery pack, your positive and negative would go right into this plug here. Then on the original, we have this plug here, kind of splitting between our connector block and then our fuse. And then you have this loose plug here. This one will stay where it is. This will not be any different at all if you have the second battery. But if you do have a second battery, this loose plug will connect to the other loose plug on the other battery. This will bridge the 2 batteries together. And then this will plug it into the actual wiring and connector block down here. Then you will have just one loose plug hanging down on the second battery loose, kind of like this one was. So in order to change the battery, we're just going to undo these plugs. They just pull apart like this. And this one right here comes out. And then from here, we're going to undo these straps. Then from here, the battery is ready to come out. This slides out. When you're ready to install the new battery or batteries, you just slide them back in. Make sure you're not touching any wires. See, I am right down here. I got this one that I'm hitting. I'm going to try and pull that out of the way. There we go. You'll plug these back in. If you have a second battery, you'll go ahead and plug that in as well. And then this plug right here goes into here. If you have a second battery, this plug will just be hanging loose. And then if you have a second battery, this plug will connect into the same plug on the other battery. Or it will be this one technically. But it will connect. It only goes one way, so there's not really a way to mess it up. From here, we put our strap back in. through here, tighten it up. You can kind of slide it in that compartment if you want to. It doesn't really matter. It's secure either way. And then we'll pretty much do everything in reverse from here. So put our shroud back on. On our handles with our straps. We're gonna go right here with these larger Phillips head screws. Just tighten those back on. Once your handles are back on, make sure you put your little plastic inserts back in. They only go a certain way, and there is Velcro on the inside. There we go. And then we're going to flip this upside down like we did at the start. Make sure there's no wires hanging loose. There we go. So I'm just going to shove that back in there. Flip it on the other side. Like I said, I'm using cardboard just to not scratch the unit. Then we're going to put our 8 screws back in. So now that we have all the screws back in our battery pack, we're just going to pick it up and slide it back in. Well, drop it back in. There we go. Then our seat goes back on the unit. It's just a single post. Should drop in. You know the seat's in when you try to turn it and it locks.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.